You never know. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Triple Play Podcast, where we're having a good laugh over here because you just never know what could happen at 11:51 p.m. Um, listen, it's just we're here and we're here to talk about some Week 4 matchups, and I listen. This one could get goofy. All right. So, Nick, I'm gonna let you tell them what game we're talking about first, and I'm gonna let you pick which team you want to talk about.
Who's even playing in the London game?
It's Minnesota and the Saints, Nick. Okay, Minnesota and the Saints playing over the pond. Nick, who would you rather talk about? Would you rather talk about the
Why'd
Vikings
you
or
have
the
to
Saints?
say over the pond, man?
All right.
All
Anyway,
right.
we're
All right.
continuing because that's good quality TV right there.
All right.
Okay,
Viking Saints. Gosh, what's his name? New quarterback for the Saints this week.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. Ugh. Michael Thomas out for the week. You're really hoping that Jarvis Landry does something, I guess. Or Kamara. I think Kamara's also questionable. I mean,
He lives his life questionable.
he really kind of does.
Yeah.
And on the Viking side, you've got Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. Dude, I don't know. Are you starting Kirk Cousins?
I don't think I'm starting Kirk Cousins, but I wouldn't be scared to still start like Adam Thielen. If I had to.
I'll probably start Adam Thielen. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
got him, I'd start him. Yeah.
One thing for the Saints that I know I'm starting Chris Olave.
I am in one of my leagues as well.
Yeah, with Michael Thomas out, I think that was the main guy that's taking away targets.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, with a backup quarterback coming in, sometimes you see a lot of targets go to the running back. So maybe this is Alvin Kamara's week as far as like a lot more receptions than what he has been getting.
Yeah.
Hate to see Jameis out. I mean, the guys that like Nick mentioned, I mean, most of those guys you're playing pretty much anyway.
Yeah.
Who you got?
24-17 Minnesota.
Okay. I'm gonna go pretty low scoring too. I heard something earlier today that said maybe Kirk Cousins mistakes this as a primetime game. So yeah, you never know. It's the only game on TV at 9:30 a.m. Come on.
It is.
Come on, Kirk. You like that? You like that anyway?
Well, I don't
Kirk
have Justin
Cousins.
Jefferson in any fantasy league, so I don't
I tell
really.
you what, if you got Justin Jefferson in a fan league, you're probably sweating here lately.
Mm-hmm.
But CJ talking all that trash about Justin Jefferson. I've got Minnesota as well. I'm gonna take them 21-17. I'm I just think Olave is the offense in this one. I think Kamara is just coming out a little slower this year. It's obvious that whatever he's got going on with his rib cartilage is actually an issue. So they're trying to be a little give him some protection, and keep the ball out of his hands at least a little bit. And Olave is a rookie that they're trying to give all the opportunity in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, but both of us with Minnesota there. What game do you want to go to next?
I think we can talk about the hometown favorites. The Panthers Cardinals.
Okay.
Cardinals. Obviously, if you got Kyler Murray, he's your quarterback every week. Hopkins is out till week 6? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So he's out the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't know. They may have a week 7 bye as well.
Eesh, that's
so like it might be out till the 8th week.
Yeah. Let's see who else they have. James Conner. I think if you have him, you're rolling him out.
Yeah.
Who else are the Cardinals?
Panthers haven't looked strong against the run.
No, they've been pretty good at covering receivers and everything.
Yeah. So I'd be a little more worried about that end of the ball for sure.
Yeah. And I think the past 2 weeks, Zach Ertz has actually done fairly decent, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's actually really turned it on here.
I mean, if you got him, I think you probably do start him. I think. I mean, and then talk about the Panthers. You know more about this stuff than I do.
Yeah. The only two wide receivers that you probably ever question for the Cardinals was like Marquise Brown or Greg Dortch. The Dortch.
I think I have Marquise Brown in one league, but I'm gonna be honest, I think I sat him over DJ Moore this week.
I think in some smaller leagues like 8 and 10 man, you're probably trying to sit him just for the fact that Kyler Murray hasn't looked the greatest, and Carolina's passing defense actually has looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Carolina. I mean, obviously, if Christian McCaffrey plays, you're starting Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, I think you stay away from this backfield. If you've got DJ Moore, I think you got to start him this week.
Yeah.
Playing against the Cardinals secondary that is pretty much non-existent. If you wanted to dart throw Robbie Anderson this week, just in a deep league like 12 team, I know, but like against Arizona's defense, 12 team, Robbie's had 2 quiet weeks in a row, so it's about time for him to do something again. Yeah, I don't think I would buy into any Laviska Shenault hype or anything. He only had 2 catches, so no, I wouldn't get excited on that. And like you said, the best receiving option on both sides this week might be Zach Ertz. So
yeah, him or DJ Moore probably.
I know that the Cardinals might be getting back Rondale Moore, which was kind of the guy that Greg Dortch took his spot for the time being. I don't know. And then in a few more weeks from now, you're going to get Hopkins back. So it's going to be a crowded wide receiver room there. Who you got in this game, Doctor? You want me to go first this time?
You can go first.
I did take the Panthers in this one. Can't help myself on this one. I just can't help it, man. Win one game, we're going to the Super Bowl. I think Baker Mayfield finally gets a chance to eat in this game.
I hope so.
I think it's I want to say higher scoring, but the Panthers have not allowed a lot of points. They just haven't. Now they haven't played any 5-star offenses or anything like that, but the Cardinals haven't looked like a 5-star offense themselves.
No.
So, I think the Panthers could put a little gap into this one. I think we could see something like 27-13 or 27-10. I just do not think that the Cardinals, who are James Conner's a little banged up, Kyler Murray hasn't, they just haven't looked like themselves. And the wide receiver room, it gets more confusing by the week. I think, adding another piece, you may hurt things more than help things. Especially when that piece isn't DeAndre Hopkins yet. So I got Panthers 27-10 in this one. We'll go 27-10.
Golly. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a blowout like that, but I did also take the Panthers 24-21 because I have to put a little bit of faith that, like, the Cardinals will compete with the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers will blow them out, but I hope they do. Obviously want the Panthers to win.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping it's a situation kind of like the Bengals where you finally got that first win. Now you're feeling good. Now you go out there and you really look like something.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Who you want to go to next, or did you pick? Oh no, I picked that one.
I'm gonna go Browns Falcons.
All right.
Go back to 1:00 here. Which team would you rather talk about?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. There's fantasy options I have, I think, in multiple leagues on both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about the Falcons just for a minute because
right.
I got Drake London in a league this week.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him out there. Marcus Mariota, I don't think you're starting him. Really,
absolutely not.
I know. I hate that. I hate to say it that way, but it's true.
But it's just
Cordarrelle Patterson. You are starting Cordarrelle Patterson because he has looked phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's looked great. You wish he was probably getting a couple more catches because last year he was a big catch machine too. But now they've got a couple studs that are young that are catching passes in Atlanta. So, if you got Cordarrelle, you're starting him. Drake London, you're starting him. Kyle Pitts, you're starting him. I think that's pretty much where you cut the train off. And you're feeling a lot better about Kyle Pitts, and you're still feeling good about Drake London.
Oh yeah.
Against a Cleveland defense that is
I'm starting Drake London in one of my leagues, and I feel great about it. Like, I was so happy I got him on the waiver wire this week. Yep. I don't know why he wasn't already gone, but.
Okay, how you feeling about the Browns over there?
I think obviously if you have Nick Chubb, he's playing. And Kareem Hunt, I think, could sneak into a flex, to be honest with you, because he does get most of the receptions out of the backfield. But to be honest with you, that and I don't know. Amari Cooper's had back-to-back pretty good weeks, so I think you probably slide him in there against the Falcons at least.
I think you have to.
Yeah, it almost feels like too good to be true. Like, had back-to-back good weeks playing just a terrible team, he's probably bound to have another good week.
Yeah, I think the only thing that could hurt him is I think that Chubb and Hunt could just run all over him,
Right.
and then they
And
wouldn't have to do anything.
yeah. And but I mean, I think once you get past Chubb, Hunt, and Cooper, you probably stop right there.
Yeah, are you chasing the big week out of Njoku last week?
No, I don't know. I think he's a little too far gone now.
I just don't like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I buy into the Njoku hype, I get burnt. I get burnt with a big old goose.
Yeah. I hear you.
But like 2 dud weeks. Last week comes out big, and with a guy like Kyle Pitts, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're good now." With a guy like Njoku, you're like, "Nah, well, I don't know." So it's always been that way with him in
Yeah.
Cleveland. So I guess we'll see. If he has another big week, he'll hit your waiver wire hard for sure. Everybody will be trying to pick him up. Nick, you get to do this one first, and I'm glad because this one's a little closer in my opinion.
I do have a one-score game. 27-21 Cleveland Browns.
Okay, I chose the Browns as well. Uh, I was thinking more along the lines of 24-17. So that's still one
Yeah.
score. I think both of these offenses are capable of scoring on the opposing defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt could absolutely run like crazy in this game. I
Mm-hmm.
think they'll play it safe once they get ahead, though. And the Falcons could come back maybe a little bit, score some garbage time touchdowns and stuff. But I think the Cleveland will take a pretty quick lead and just run, 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 run.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
All right. You just want to move on to Commanders Cowboys?
Perfectly fine with me.
All right. Which team do you want to talk about?
Oh, I want to talk about them Cowboys, baby.
All right, Stephen A.
All right. Anyway, I am not against the Cowboys by any means. I grew up in a household where my dad always cheered for the Cowboys. I was more of I was a Panthers fan. My brother was a Ravens fan. So, but now if I had to cheer for somebody else, I do like to see the Cowboys do good just because so many people give them crap all the time. I love it when Stephen A has to eat his words just a little bit. So, hey, Stephen, if you're watching this, have me on the show. Have me on the show. I'll give you the Michael Irvin treatment.
Good Lord.
And anyway, I'm not gonna lick my fingers on air, but Cooper Rush, aka Joe Montana,
Joe Montana.
John Montana.
In his prime.
Listen, I won't say nothing, but in 2 games and a quarter, in 9 quarters, 514 and 2 touchdowns, over 50% pass, completion percentage as a backup quarterback coming in too. Zeke finally got into the end zone last week. If you've got Zeke, you're starting him. I don't think you're starting Cooper Rush in fantasy or anything. Let's not get too excited.
No.
But Zeke, you're starting him. Tony Pollard keeps breaking free these long runs for touchdowns. Now he is getting some work. If you're in a deep 12-man and you need a flex option this week and you've got a couple of injuries, Tony Pollard's not a bad option because he just keeps breaking out these long runs because he's such a good athlete. So I wouldn't be scared. But Zeke is a must start, in my opinion, especially against Washington. He always plays good against divisional opponents. We'll test that theory later on against the Eagles for sure. Now, as far as wide receiver options, CeeDee Lamb in.
Yes.
Dalton Schultz, if he plays, I think you got to start him because tight ends are just so washy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, if you got Schultz, you got to start him. Michael Gallup, I'd say sit him this week, see what he does. They may have him on a snap count. He may not get the looks from Cooper Rush that you want because Noah Brown has been the guy who has been the 2-man for sure in this offense. So you never know. Gallup could run out of the slot. If he does, I'm going to be happy about what it's going to look like when Dak comes back anyway. So because he likes Gallup. So we're just going to hold off on him for just a little bit. But, pretty much the basic guys you're for sure putting in.
Yeah.
What you think about those Commanders? Commanders, I about said it, but I didn't. I didn't do it this time. Everyone I have, but not this time.
I mean, gosh, what's their all three of the receivers? Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel.
Yep.
And who else? What's the other guy?
Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson. That's who it is. I think if you have them, you're probably putting out all three of them. I'm telling you, I just really think that every week those three can be all viable fantasy options. Colby's dying over here, y'all.
Listen, it's been rough.
But what were we talking about? And the running back, Antonio Gibson. It's not shameful to start him. I'll say that.
It's not a shame. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that because I actually heard a stat earlier today that week 1, 64% of snaps, week 2, 54% of snaps, week 3, 44% of snaps. So his usage is going down, down, down as Brian Robinson is getting more and more healthy.
Yeah.
When Brian Robinson gets back in this lineup, I think that Antonio Gibson is just immediately going to be the number 2. McKissick has seen a lot more of the second down work, not just the third down work. So, and they did have to come from behind last week too. So that does kind of change things. What do you think about the Dallas defense? Because I think this year, everybody's been big on them, but I think this year they've actually looked a lot better than they even were last year when everybody was so hype on them.
I'm telling you, Michael Irvin might have been acting like he was on something, but he was right. That defense is good. It is ridiculously good. The pass rush is insane. The secondary is insane. Like, stupid.
Everybody, Michael Parsons. DeMarcus Lawrence dropped 3 sacks last week, and made them like it.
It ain't just Michael Parsons.
And yeah. I mean, goodness gracious. But now, and I'll tell you somebody that I've always given a hard time, and I gave a hard time all last year because he's a cherry picker. He's about like a guy that plays the YMCA in your local pickup game that stays on the offensive end the whole time just so somebody throw him a full court pass and get a layup. Trayvon Diggs.
Dude.
That man has actually showed up this year and played some serious lockdown defense. Any catch that is made on him this year, especially in games 2 and 3, has been very highly contested by a very good receiver. Jamar Chase made a sick one-handed catch, basically, whenever Trayvon Diggs had a hand right in the middle of his, and it was just a sick catch. I have seen Trayvon Diggs actually play some very good defense this year. If he's doing that and really selling himself just for the team instead of just for picks, and the defensive line's doing what they could do, Van Der Esch is a very, very good middle linebacker in the middle of the field working there. I think that you are a little bit worried after seeing what happened last week to the Redskins about some of about the Commanders. Sorry. God, I'm sorry. But after seeing what happened last week, I think you probably are just a little bit worried up and down the list. Now, Terry McLaurin finally got his last week. I think you're starting him regardless just because he's so talented.
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs doesn't follow anybody around the field or anything. He just kind of covers that one side. Curtis Samuel's going to get his PPR-wise. I started Jahan Dotson last week, kind of got burnt because he finally had that game where he didn't get his touchdown. Or didn't get his 2 touchdowns, whatever he usually gets at least one. I probably drop him down a tier. If you're McLaurin's usually your 2, I'm playing him as a 3 this week, hoping that I have another guy that's kind of a 2. And same thing with Samuel. Jahan Dotson, if I had to use him in a flex, I would. But if I had a running back option, I'd probably go that route. It's just Dallas just look like them boys, bro. They look like them boys. They're winning the Super Bowl.
Shut up. Just shut up.
All right, what do you want to talk about next? I guess we'll go straight down the list.
We didn't even do a score prediction for that.
Cowboys. What are you talking about, bro? Everybody got the Cowboys.
I got Cowboys 21-17.
Okay. I think it's going to be a little further apart than that. Cowboys 31-17. I do think that the Redskins got enough weapons on offense to get down the field and score some points. But I think 31-17. Bold prediction, Carson Wentz gets sacked 5 times.
No, that wouldn't surprise. I don't think that's a bold prediction, to be honest with you.
The way they've been, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go see. I want to go Seahawks Lions if you want.
All right.
I'm just excited. And listen, I'll let you talk about the Lions. I'll give them to you. I'll talk about the.
Well, heck, half the Lions are out this week. I'm not saying Brown's out, and what's his name? DeAndre Swift is also out.
But we're still excited.
Well, yeah, they're still going to win this game against the Seahawks for sure.
Well, do you want me to talk about them since I know maybe some of the lower key options?
Yeah.
And you want to go ahead and talk about the Seahawks first?
I mean,
Might be a
gosh.
quick conversation.
Yeah, real quick. I mean, Rashad Penny maybe in a flex. Like a 10, 12 team league, maybe. I don't know.
Because if you got Rashad Penny in your flex, you're 0-3. Surely to goodness it ain't that rough.
Yeah. Dude, he's not that bad.
I know. Hey, listen,
He led
100
the NFL last year in yards per carry and yards after contact, bro.
he's
Like,
not
he's not
bad, but
that
look at
bad.
what he's done this year. 141 through 3 games.
Yeah, I mean,
That
he's
ain't what he
playing for
did
the
last year.
Seahawks, bro. He's playing for the Seahawks.
He got Geno. Geno's stats through 3 games don't even look that bad.
It's Geno, though,
7-17, four TDs is kind of low, but 7-17 with only 2 picks? That's actually really not that bad.
Dude. Trade for Geno, Carolina.
Trade for easy. Don't be giving them ideas now. I done told them to trade for Baker and they did it. So that's the first time they listen to me. Listen, Stephen A. Let me on show.
God.
All right, what about receiving? Who you got?
You got Lockett. If you got him, flex maybe, or wide receiver 3 at the very highest.
Yeah.
And DK, if you took him for whatever reason, you got to play him.
I mean, he did catch a touchdown last week.
Yeah, but still, dude, it's just Geno. Like going from Russell Wilson to Geno is just like that's like going from a steak dinner to like a biscuit from Biscuitville or something, dude. And that's not a knock to Geno. He's played well this year, but he's not Russell Wilson, you know.
Now, myself, I'm not a fan of Biscuitville myself. So
I'm not either.
I think that is just everybody. I think people live down toward like Greensboro and places like that. Big on Biscuitville, run a Biscuitville. Tyler Lockett's been very serviceable the past 2 weeks, and then DK finally got in the end zone. So I think they're letting the reins off of Geno just a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think if you have Lockett or Metcalf, you do start them, and then Penny's probably like a 12-team league guy, like realistically.
yeah.
Ooh. Other than that,
them lines, boy. If you got Jared Goff, if you're wanting to stream him, as a replacement guy this week, let's say that I had Kyler Murray or Jared Goff. Who you playing, Nick?
Kyler Murray.
Against the Panthers passing defense, whenever Kyler Murray hasn't really run the ball that much this year.
He's going to run it. If he can't pass it, he will. I mean, I'm taking Kyler Murray over Jared. Now, that just sounds like a fool.
I do know that Jared Goff doesn't have a couple of his weapons, so that may change my tone on it.
Amon-Ra's been his guy, and Amon-Ra ain't playing.
Jared has been very good. So if you got to stream Jared Goff, I'd still be willing to stream him if I was in a pinch, like if I was in a bad situation.
Oh yeah, okay, I don't think that he's the worst.
Tom Brady or Jared Goff.
He got Godwin back this week, and
if Godwin sits
or not Godwin, Evans. He got Evans back.
I know, but they've been looking. Whew. And they're against the Chiefs. I mean,
to be honest with you, if I had to pick, I'd pick neither of them to start for my fantasy league. But
and what if those are the only 2 guys you got? 12-team league, Nick. They ain't a quarterback out there.
For this week specifically, it might be Goff, but normally Brady a million times.
Oh well, yeah. This is like a stream thing, just because Goff is playing the Seahawks.
Right.
DeAndre Swift is out. Jamal Williams is in your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have him in one league. Couldn't pick him up in the other league because I have DeAndre Swift in both leagues. So I got Jamal Williams. Oof. Jamal Williams has looked great when replacing DeAndre Swift. So he is in for sure. Amon-Ra St. Brown is out. That moves DJ Chark and TJ Hawkinson up the board a little bit. If you got TJ Hawkinson, you're feeling good about him this week. If you want to take a chance, DJ Chark has been the 2 guy. So he's, going to slot into that 1 spot. Obviously going to get a lot more targets. What he does with those is up to him, though. Yeah. So you've got the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want just opportunity and you need volume, DJ Chark could see 8 or 9 targets in this game. So,
yeah.
I mean, I've got Detroit, Nick. I don't know about you. Even without their 2 weapons, I'm starting to really feel good about the Detroit defense. They haven't necessarily kept anybody real low scoring, but
they've kept them in it.
Yep, they do have some young guys that I'm pretty excited about, especially in their secondary. So I have the Lions, and I actually have the Lions going away in this. Now I don't think they're going to score as many points because they are missing some weapons here. I think that this one could get a little spread apart here. 24-10, 24-10 Lions.
I've got it 20-14.
Okay. And I'd like to see the Lions get a lead and keep it this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a lead and keep it. Let's go 2-2. Should be 2-1 right now. We've got to make the playoffs. This is a Lions podcast.
Jeez.
Listen, right now, Nick, if the Lions make the playoffs, we're getting St. Brown jerseys.
No. If they win the Super Bowl and Amon-Ra St. Brown wins Super Bowl MVP, then I'll get an Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey.
Okay, you heard it.
I'll do it. I'll do that. First.
Luke, write it down. Luke's writing that down right now.
He probably is.
Yep, we're going to take pictures with him. All right, who you want next?
All right, let's go Titans Colts.
I think this is a good one. I think this one could go either way. What do you think?
I don't think it's a go either way.
Titans finally got on the board, and Indianapolis looked competent.
Look competent. They just beat the Chiefs.
Exactly. They finally look like somebody. And the Titans finally look like somebody in their game, too. Finally got back to giving Derrick Henry the ball.
Yeah, but who did the Titans play?
To be fair, they did give Derrick Henry the ball before, and it just wasn't good. They did play Oakland. But listen, Oakland has played 3 close ball games.
And they've lost all 3 of them.
I know record says 0-3, but listen, you got to think about who
at the end of the
year.
With. It doesn't matter who you competed with whenever you freaking 7-11 or 7-10.
I know, but you got to
out of the playoff
picture. Way. And we'll get to them in just a minute. They played the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
They should have beat the Cardinals. Lost in overtime. Hunter Renfrow, nice job.
Dude, he got concussed.
he got clocked, but
hey, he got concussed on the play.
He should just went down.
He did. He didn't move.
Come on, Hunter. Listen. Come on, Hunter. All right, and then they lost to the Titans, a team that was the number 1 seed for the AFC last year in the playoffs.
That's sad.
I'm just saying they've played 3 respectable. If they lost to the Seahawks, oh God, I can't believe I'm saying this. The Seahawks, the Giants, and the Panthers. Like, I think you should feel worse about them.
I mean, right, but
I mean, I'm not completely sold out on the Raiders. I don't think they're making the playoffs, but I don't think they're a bad team. So I'm giving some credit to the Titans for that win. I'll talk about the Titans then.
All right.
Okay, Ryan Tannehill. If you think about starting Ryan Tannehill, it's a no-go. Okay, that's a 32-team league, man, right there. Derrick Henry. If you got him, you start him every week. It don't matter who they play. They could play. Who they play in the longest yard? The Allenville State Prison Guards or whatever. You could play the Cons in that one. And listen, they had a killer defensive line. Okay, and but I'm telling you, starting Derrick Henry anyway because he is as big as the defensive line.
That's true.
And then as far as wide receiver options, you're not going to play any of them because you're not sure yet. Robert Woods.
I'm sure they'll suck.
Robert Woods has 9 receptions for 137 on the year. I don't think it's time to play Robert Woods yet, but I think the Indianapolis Colts defense might have figured something out this past week. And then Traylon Burks, he's a rookie. You're still holding on. You're still holding him. Just hold him. Okay? Don't play him. If he's on your bench and goes off, feel good about the fact that you get to start him next week. You know, somebody else didn't have him. That's the main thing. So Derrick Henry is the only offensive player that I'm playing for the Tennessee Titans this week.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that. And I think that's most weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be this year for sure.
Yeah. Is Michael Pittman back this week?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're plugging him in. You're playing Jonathan Taylor. Got to every week. Matt Ryan, I wouldn't be against in like a 10 or 12 team league maybe. But I think an 8-man, I don't think he's in anyone's lineup.
No. No.
But
2 quarterback league, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of people play that now, no joke.
I've never heard of that, really, but I mean, I don't know. I might try it one time, just
Yeah.
something to goof around with or something. But anyways, I think that might be where the train stops for maybe the Colts defense. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the Colts defense. I wouldn't be totally
Yeah.
against that, but I don't think there's another wide receiver for Indianapolis that you can trust right now.
No,
As
I
Matt,
just think it's the Michael Pittman Jr. show. That's
yeah,
it.
when Matt Ryan heats up, you might see somebody emerge.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
we can grab another one right here. I guess we'll go Bears Giants. Battle of 2-1s, Nick.
We didn't even say the score for the Titans Colts.
Oh crap,
I
my
didn't
bad.
even know who's gonna win.
I get so excited, Nick. Um, I said that I had Lions on the last one, so you got to say first on this one.
Colts 24-17.
I got the Colts as well.
Mm.
I know I'm giving credit to the Tennessee Titans here. I'm going to give it a little closer, 27-24. I think both of these teams can definitely score on each other. I think the Titans are starting to figure it out on offense enough to get Derrick Henry some open space. But I do think that the Colts defense could heat up in this game too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts defense came out and looked a little better too, because last week against the Chiefs, they really figured it out.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's the first game where they didn't have to play with this stigma that, oh, they're just going to run over whoever they play. They were like, okay, well, the Chiefs are going to win. And then they went out there and beat the Chiefs.
Right.
So maybe that turns it around for the Colts, though.
Yeah.
So far, Nick, we're spot on the same in every game. Right, here's a good one. Woo! I'm looking forward to it. Which team do you care to cover?
Neither.
I don't All right, well, you got to go first.
On the Bears, David Montgomery's out, so you're playing nobody.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Bruh. No way. Khalil Herbert rushed for 150 and 2 last week. I've got him in both lineups, and I know you know that. Surely you knew that, and you just said that just because I've got him playing.
I didn't know you had him in one league. But,
I got him in both.
I didn't know you had him in two.
He's
that's
starting,
on me,
baby. Put him out there. Give
no,
him
you
the
probably
ball.
yeah. You
Hey, enough with the trick plays, Bert. Run the dang ball. Run it. Khalil Herbert is the offense. Justin Fields is limited to 15 passing attempts per game.
That's how it seems, man.
His tiny tyke arm just can't handle any more than that. These wide receivers can't handle running down the field that much. Yeah. They ain't used to that kind of conditioning. Khalil Herbert gonna have to carry the ball at least 35 times in this game.
Good Lord.
Career high in carries, career high in yards. He could go 250 plus.
Yeah.
Well, Christian McCaffrey did rush for 105 last week, and the Panthers' offensive line hasn't looked the greatest. So 105 from Christian McCaffrey.
Did you really just compare Khalil Herbert to Christian McCaffrey?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying what Christian McCaffrey did to the Giants' defense.
Okay.
And I'm saying like the Bears have had more success running the ball than the Panthers have. So,
fair.
Any wide receivers interest you on the Bears?
Oh.
No.
Not when Justin Fields is throwing it 12 times a game.
Yeah, he did have that one game with 11 pass attempts. You think his shoulder's sore after those games?
Dude, I saw something on Twitter. This was like 2 weeks ago though, so I don't know if it's still true. He was 33rd in passing attempts. There's 32 teams, Colby. That would insinuate that there's 32 quarterbacks.
I guess Trey Lance had more pass attempts than he did before he got hurt.
Probably.
That's probably what it was.
Dude, he might be 34th.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Bridgewater might come up and take it.
Yeah, and Brian Hoyer's playing for Mac Jones this week. He's probably going. All he's got to do is throw it 25 times. He's had it. You never know. On the other side of the ball. Now listen, I know you are kind of big on this guy. Like, well, you're not big on him, but you've been impressed by him, Daniel Jones.
I wouldn't say impressed. He has looked better than normal.
Yeah.
Still not good, in my opinion.
And I think that has to do with the fact that Saquon Barkley is looking like Saquon Barkley. That's going to make everybody feel better.
And I feel like even just watching that Panthers-Giants game, he did do a good job of just taking what the defense gave him and not trying to make some kind of crazy play that Daniel Jones can't make.
Absolutely.
Just if you got a guy open for 5 yards, throw it to him. Gain 5 yards every play.
Yep. Saquon, you're obviously starting Saquon.
Sure.
Now, the leading wide receiver, Sterling Shepard, tore his ACL, so he's gone for the year. If you've got Kadarius Toney, you're stashing him right now. You're not playing him. You're stashing him. He is the He is an athlete. Okay, he is the one I'm stashing right now. Not I think it's Wandale Robinson. Um, that guy was handpicked by this coaching staff. I'm not sold on it just yet either. If you've got him, sure, stash him too. But I'm not really excited about anybody in the Giants passing attack unless it's a guy that I know is going to get just like 8 or 9 receptions for 50 yards.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'd be looking for in the Giants offense. But yeah, I'm not starting any wide receivers from them this week. I got to do this one first. Dang it. Saquon's too much. I've got the Giants. I think it'll be low scoring. I'm thinking like 17-10.
I got it 21-10.
Yeah, I do think that Khalil Herbert has a good game. I think this is just battle of running backs. Justin Fields.
And Saquon's just better.
Yeah, and Saquon is better. You have to give Saquon that nod. I think both of them will be over 100 rushing yards in this game for sure. Both of them will have at least one touchdown.
Ooh.
Yep.
Predictions.
We'll see if Justin Fields can break 15 pass attempts.
Doubtful. But they may be down early, and he may have to throw it some. So maybe see him give it up to 20. Oh my gosh.
Okay, and now the next game is a little juicy.
Jaguars Eagles.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, which one do you want?
I think you actually have a lot invested on this Jaguars offense, don't you?
I do, but I have a little bit on both, and I think you
have Jalen Hurts in one league, don't you?
Yeah, and then I have Christian Kirk. I have Christian Kirk in one league.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have James Robinson.
Yes.
So I picked up Zay Jones, who's the number 2 wide receiver in one of my leagues, just because, like you said, Trevor Lawrence looking good out there.
He has been looking good, man.
Yeah,
Christian Kirk's been looking good too.
James Robinson.
James Robinson's been looking good.
He always good for one breakout run.
Oh yeah, dude. He's just good. I mean, to be honest with you, but I think the Jaguars will surprise some teams this year. Like really, like they will be like the Bengals from last year. They're just gonna be like, holy crap, we just lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah, I will say this: don't panic if Christian Kirk has a little bit less of a week this week. He's gave you 3 solid weeks.
Oh yeah.
Don't panic if it's a little bit less of a week. Eagles secondary has looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Zay Jones.
Will he draw Slay? Will he draw Darius Slay?
Darius Slay, he stays on the outside mostly, and Christian Kirk runs out of the slot a lot.
Okay.
So
that's
Zay
probably
Jones,
good for Christian Kirk.
Zay Jones may draw a lot of Darius Slay.
So stay away from Zay Jones, man.
I would stay away from starting him.
Yeah.
He's a stash in my opinion, just because of how good he's looked the past 2 weeks. Trevor Lawrence is a real deal, but now this Eagles secondary is looking pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes. And the Eagles defensive line has looked
the Eagles are just a good team. Like
they are. They really are the real deal this year. Real quick, guys on the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is where it all starts, and boy, he has looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Running and throwing.
Yeah.
Are you starting Miles Sanders this week?
No, just because Jalen Hurts is their best running back. I mean,
yeah.
Last week was same thing with Lamar.
Last week was that big dip for Miles Sanders. He didn't look good last week, so I think you might wait a week because the Jaguars defense hasn't looked bad either.
No, they've actually the Jaguars have played good. Yeah, the Jaguars have played good this year.
Now AJ Brown, fire him up. Devontae Smith, fire him up. If Dallas Goedert's healthy, are you playing him?
Yes, probably.
Okay, I don't know. So
actually, I probably will play him over Gerald Everett just because I don't know how I feel about. He's huge.
Well, now Keenan Allen is out again, so but you don't know about Justin Herbert.
Exactly. I don't feel good about Herbert right now.
Well, we'll piece right here if you want to. After prediction.
Oh, Eagles 31-24.
Eagles 35-28.
All right, let's do. That's a close, high scoring game.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we're going to jump into the Jets-Steelers next. A absolute barn burner of a matchup here. This quarterback, goodness gracious. Okay, we're talking Hall of Fame levels here for some of these players. Now, listen, I'm not going to say there's not some weapons in this game because there is actually some weapons in
Yeah,
this game that we're
there
going to talk
there
about.
is.
So I don't want to. I've actually been. It's funny because you probably see these two teams as not very good, but I think you've been
Yeah,
more surprised with how the Jets have played, and you've been just disappointed with how the Steelers have played. Like I
yeah.
feel like you view them differently because of what the Jets have done in the past and what the Steelers have done in the past. Which team would you like to talk about?
I have to pick one.
Yeah,
Uh, gosh. I guess the Steelers, just because they have Najee Harris and he's good.
yeah,
What was his name? Deontay Johnson. Is that his name?
yeah, yep.
And he's pretty good. And I think other than maybe the Steelers defense, that's where fantasy options in after
I,
Najee and Deontay Johnson.
I'm
But
still I'm still playing the mute this week.
oh yeah, I forgot completely forgot about
But now,
Prime Youth.
We know that last week, it was
He
two
did
for
kind of he did
41.
yeah, about to say he did almost skunk you last week. It was pretty bad.
Scared me a little bit there, but I
Against the
think
Jets, you feel better about it for
surely to
sure.
goodness,
Yeah,
if he
like
doesn't now, if he has another down week this week, I'm obviously looking for another guy.
yeah, might have to.
I'm just looking for another option there to kind of maybe I don't drop.
Okay, hold on, Kobe. I
Right.
got a scenario for you.
Okay.
If Fryermuth does bad this week and Njoku does decent again, are you looking at Njoku?
Oh,
I know it was gonna be a good one because you
oh
said you've been
gosh.
burnt by him in the past. I know, and
Uh,
you're gonna have to think about it. You're gonna have to think about it. Come on.
no.
No, you're not going Njoku.
No, I
Okay, I
can't.
can understand. I can understand
Some
that.
of those just cut deeper, man.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
understand.
it just cuts deep, and you just really depend on a guy sometimes, and he just lets you down over and over and over. Like I thought that Fryermuth was really going to let me down this past week, and he ended up with 6 points, which, to be fair, on a lot of tight ends wish they could score 6 points.
Right.
um,
You don't
but
get points for run blocking, boys.
he had 2 good weeks in a row, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like maybe that was a game where he just had to run block a little more,
Right.
or pass block a little more if they were
Hmm.
having trouble. Hmm. But yeah, like you said, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson. I think that's where it
Steelers
stops.
defense. Steelers
Okay,
defense too. I
Steelers
think you could
defense.
roll out there.
Yeah, I for sure think so.
Yeah.
Seeing as Zach Wilson will be the quarterback this week, we don't know what he's going
Mhm.
to look like. We've not got good examples in the past.
Minka
Um,
Fitzpatrick's gonna have a pick this week. Calling it.
yeah, I'm thinking at least 2 picks out of the Pittsburgh
Oh, I
defense.
thought you were about to say just that him. I'm like,
And
my gosh.
they may go a little conservative and really use Michael Carter and Brees Hall. Brees Hall's really started to come up for the Jets. He's had a lot of receptions out of the
Mhm.
backfield. Um, he's actually had a little bit he's actually split 50-50 carries with Michael Carter. He's just had more receptions. So
Right.
obviously he's getting more opportunities at this point, as he should. He's a rookie. He's going to be the guy of the future there. If
Right.
you have to start Brees Hall, I think you can, and like a
Oh
flex
yeah.
option.
Oh yeah, for
Michael
sure.
Carter, no, though. I don't. I
Mm.
think you're
Just because
weaning
he's not
off.
the guy getting any receptions.
No, yeah, no. I
Yeah.
think they're weaning off of Michael
Hmm.
Carter. As far as receiving options, I
What's
really
his
want to stay
name?
away. But Garrett Wilson.
Garrett. Well, yeah, Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson. I think's the only, and that's like right now, like a 12 team league you're playing in,
yeah,
right?
that's like your flex.
Yeah.
Maybe in a 10 team you're flexing, but in an 8 team you're
Yeah.
really just trying to sit and wait.
And to be honest with you, I think you're reaching in a 10 team if you're starting
Yeah.
him. Like you're probably just like hoping he pops off or something.
Um, I'm just trying to think. Okay, DJ Chark for the Lions or Garrett Wilson. Says DJ Chark's going to be the one.
Um, I'm gonna go Chark just because they're playing against the Seahawks this week. It's not the
Yeah,
Steelers.
and he does have his quarterback. You know,
Yeah,
so we don't have Joe
and
Flacco anymore throwing 50 some pass attempts a game.
I'm assuming that Fitzpatrick will be on Garrett Wilson. Probably is he their
Uh,
number one? Like viewed as their number one?
well, yes, but I don't. I think that the Steelers play more just all over the place than
Yeah.
anything. I don't think I don't know. Um, I think, God, and I hate to say this, Tyler Conklin. I think your time may be up as a
Yeah.
serviceable fantasy tight end. You don't have a quarterback out there that's going to throw it 50 times anymore. I think that Zach Wilson will max out at high 20s on pass attempts,
Yeah.
especially this first game. This first game for sure. And now he may come out and shut us up. Come
Right.
out and look like the guy that they drafted.
I
Uh,
doubt it,
but I
though.
doubt it too.
Yeah.
Not right now. I just don't. I think it could be a shaky first couple weeks here.
Mhm.
Then we could start seeing enough PPR. Uh, spotlight for Garrett Wilson
Yeah.
and maybe one more option to be in your lineup. But if you got to start Garrett Wilson, if you're just in a tight spot, he's talented. He
Right.
could catch an 8-yard pass, take it to the house.
Right.
And then Brees Hall obviously is going to get a lot of receptions out of the
Mhm.
backfield, especially with Zach Wilson now at quarterback. I think
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty evident. Who you got in this one?
Pittsburgh 17-14.
Yeah, I'm going to go low scoring as well. It's going to be Pittsburgh 14-7.
Yeesh. That's
I
real
think they
low.
take it. I think they take it really easy in this
Yeah.
game. I think Najee Harris gets. Najee Harris might have both those touchdowns.
Yeah.
Honestly, just because I just don't think the Jets can defend against the run.
Yeah. And Najee's just he's a beast.
He is a good running back.
Yeah.
The next game is rather juicy.
Talking about Bills Ravens.
Bills Ravens.
Oh yeah, baby. Now, I think
Absolutely.
we might have a different pick here. I don't know. I know you have family ties to the Ravens, and I have personal ties to spending half of my money on Bills players.
I will let you talk about the Bills. I'll talk about the Ravens.
All right. Last week Diggs was having problems in the second half with cramps. Hopefully that's not a problem again. But I mean, still, even without his touchdowns and having to run off the field half the time with cramps, got you like 7 receptions for I don't know, got 15 fantasy points. Still great.
He wasn't the only one either. It was hot in Miami apparently. Like so.
And are they in Baltimore? Or either way, it's probably gonna be cold in Baltimore or in Buffalo. So
let me see real quick.
I think it's in Baltimore, isn't it?
I would assume.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, for fantasy options, Josh Allen, if you got him, you're playing him. Stephon Diggs, you're playing him. Is Gabriel Davis in this week?
He is on track to play. They say.
I'd say you're probably playing him. I mean, that's number two guy. You got to play
Ravens secondary has not looked good.
Yep, no, it has not. Gosh, who else? Are you playing Singletary? I probably wouldn't.
If you're chasing, if you got Singletary, myself, I've got Singletary in ESPN. I'm leaving him on the bench for another week, seeing if he does the same thing he did last week.
Okay. And then I don't know if you're playing the Bills defense against this Ravens offense that has looked very good.
Yeah.
I mean, for the Ravens, I think they're 2-1, right?
Yeah.
They're 2-1, but it's a very pretty 2-1. Like especially on the offensive side at least.
Yeah.
2 MVP candidates in Josh Allen and Lamar. They're in my opinion, they're the top 2 right now. But I know you said Jalen Hurts would probably be above Allen just because of how well he runs the ball.
Yeah.
And the voters tend to like that.
2 of the top 3 for sure. Though.
Oh yeah. Just 2 great quarterbacks in the game. I got a high scoring affair in this one, Kobe. You want to go over the Ravens fantasy options real quick?
Yeah, Lamar. You got Lamar. You're playing Lamar.
Oh,
he does enough to win you a week by himself.
Yeah.
As far as the backfield goes, I'm a little worried.
Lamar Jackson is the backfield.
Yeah. J.K. Dobbins is still splitting touches with Justice Hill. And they came out after the game on Sunday, Jim Harbaugh did, and he said that Justice Hill ran like a true number 1 running back. That's not what you want to hear as a J.K. Dobbins owner at all. So I'm hands off on this backfield right now, to be honest. If anybody runs it in, it's Lamar.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing about a running game and either a passing heavy offense or an offense like the Eagles or the Ravens who have quarterbacks that can run the ball extremely well.
Yeah.
They're going to run it in themselves, and that takes away, 6 points that could go to your running back.
As far as wide receiver options, tight end, you're obviously playing Mark Andrews every week.
Absolutely.
I still think you're playing Bateman.
Yeah.
They're going to have to score points to win this ball game because I think that the Bills are going to shred up the Baltimore secondary. And I think that, Lamar's going to get a lot of rushing yards in this one, but eventually he is going to have to throw the ball because I'm telling you, with guys like Von Miller coming after you, you're going to get that ball out.
Right. Yep. It ain't fun getting hit by guys like that all
Yep,
game long.
I think after those two guys though, you're done on the receiving end
Yeah.
of
Oh
things.
yeah. Probably.
Uh,
Um.
who do you? Let's see. Did you go last? You went Steelers first in the last one. So
Mhm.
I'll say I do have the Bills.
Oh, okay.
I don't think the Bills lose 2 games in a row. They're too good to lose 2 games in a row. You take a loss like that in Miami, you clean stuff up.
Mhm.
And the Bills took that loss hard.
Yeah.
And they did.
I don't know if we talked about it before. The offensive coordinator quite literally lost
Yeah.
his mind in the box up there. Um, I
Josh
do think we're
Allen
gonna
slammed the
see.
helmet.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I think we're gonna see a lot cleaner week from the Bills this week.
Yeah.
And what's your score? I also have the Bills. What's your score looking like?
Gosh, I really think it's going to have to be high scoring because I
Mm-hmm.
do think Lamar can run it enough and be enough of an athlete to get around some of this Buffalo defense.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that I think can escape guys like Von Miller and them, it is Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson.
Right.
And I'm not drinking the Lamar Kool-Aid or anything here, but he has been on a hot streak here lately. Now he's a
Gosh.
streaky guy, but he's been looking good, so I
I'm
got to
telling you
give him
what. I think
props.
you gotta be on the Lamar hype train right now.
Gotta give the man props on how he's
Yeah.
playing lately. I'm gonna have Bills 38-31
I got
in this one.
35-31 Bills. So yeah,
Yeah.
very close there.
Um, honestly, if you had to dart throw a wide receiver, Isaiah McKenzie, the third
Mhm.
option for the Bills, I would rather play him over somebody like. I don't think I'm going to Dawson Knox at tight end at all at this point.
No, and I know I've been high on him in the past. I just think that with Gabriel Davis out, every bit of attention has gone to Stephon Diggs, and I think it's after the weeks that he's had with all the attention on him,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay that way. I think until something, and Gabriel Davis is back, so and I just think that takes all the bit, like every bit of attention that Dawson Knox might have got last week, it's gone now
Yeah.
because Gabriel Davis is back.
This past week, Gabriel Davis struggled just a little bit. You could tell that he still hadn't shaken the injury, so to speak. Um, but Isaiah McKenzie took advantage of that. He scored a touchdown himself and everything. So
Mhm.
if you need a guy, you can play the slot guy for the Bills just because I think that
Absolutely.
they are going to right the ship and it's
Hmm.
going to look good. All right. I think we are on to I've got Chargers Texans
That's
next.
what I've got as well.
Okay. Which team would you like to talk about?
Um, I think there's literally only one team you can talk about here.
Yeah, there's only one player that I want to talk about elsewhere.
All right.
As far
You
as
you want to
Houston,
collectively go over the Chargers first, and then
we
just start?
can
Yeah. Okay.
start at the
Then
top.
you said Keenan Allen is out this week,
Keenan
right?
Allen's out.
Dang.
Keenan Allen's out.
All right. I
Uh,
mean, Herbert, if you got him, you got to play him.
mm,
You're hoping that he can shake this whatever injury this is that he's got,
yeah,
and look like Justin Herbert again.
yep,
Mike Williams,
absolutely.
if you got him, you're rolling him out there.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. And you've got to feel good about the fact that Keenan Allen isn't in there. You've got to take last week and just kind of throw it out.
right.
Herbert had just come off this injury here. Uh, Mike Williams still got a touchdown.
Right.
He is still the number one in the
Hmm.
red zone.
Yes.
So
And I think it'll remain that way until Keenan Allen's back.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'll talk about Austin Eckler. I know you're not. If you got him, you're playing him. You
I
drafted
mean,
him
you
probably
you
third
if
overall.
yeah, you
You
have
have
to
a
play
choice.
him. You have to play him.
Yeah, and he scored enough fantasy points to be serviceable. He just
He
hasn't
really
he just ain't looked good.
he is saving you with the receptions that
Yep.
he's getting in your PPR leagues. But if you're playing in a standard league and you drafted Austin Eckler like in your first round, oh, you're hating life right now. But I mean, Austin Eckler isn't as bad as I try to make him out to be. But off to a miserable start, yes.
Yes.
But will he have a breakout game sooner or later? Absolutely, he
Yeah.
will.
Sooner or later he will. And just hasn't found the end zone yet
No, and
either.
that's the
So
thing that
that's
really,
hurt him.
really kills you when he's having that low yards per carry
Well,
for
last
every
year
week.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I heard the other day that last year he had like 20 touchdowns or something crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, 20 touchdowns to 0 through 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You are worried, but he hasn't killed you. I mean, in comparison, Christian McCaffrey has looked better than him, but he's almost kind of scored on the same line as Christian McCaffrey. And you're
Mhm.
not worried about Christian McCaffrey. You're kind of just like, okay, well, I drafted Christian McCaffrey second. I've got to play him. So, any other receiving options that you're looking for? from the Chargers?
I just don't think I'm reaching past Mike Williams.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe when you get into a deeper league, just because Keenan Allen's out, you might go, "Oh, I'll just go for the temporary number two." Maybe snag a few points from him. But
The only guy I go with is Josh Palmer.
and I just don't trust it yet, to be honest with you.
So week 2, let's see, week 2 he was a little lighter against the Chiefs. Josh Palmer was 4 for 30 and a touchdown. So not, got the touchdown. That's the main thing. Last week, Josh Palmer had more receptions. He had 6 for 99 on 9 targets. But he did have a 45-yard bomb. But he had 9 targets. He had the most targets on the field, just ahead of Eckler. It's just weird with Mike Williams, man. Sometimes Mike Williams comes out there and gets 13, 14 targets, and everybody else gets hardly anything. And then sometimes Mike Williams gets, 4 or 5 targets. Are you rolling Gerald Everett out since Keenan Allen's out?
I'm playing Gerald Everett in one of my leagues, but I think I'm sitting him in another one.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know how to feel about Justin Herbert just yet.
Is it the league you have Zach Ertz in?
Or no, I dropped Zach Ertz after week 1's pitifulness,
Yeah.
And then he picked it up obviously after the first 2 weeks. Or after
who do you have? Do you know who you have?
I have Goddard.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. I feel you on that one.
Yeah, and I like him a little better against the Jaguars. But.
Yeah. But like you said, you've got to have confidence in Mike Williams. Austin Eckler always plays. Like I said, I'm okay with Josh Palmer. I'm not 100%. Usually after Mike Williams has a bad game, he has a game where he's super involved. So I wouldn't expect anything less than double-digit targets.
Yeah.
As far as the Houston side, Damien Pierce is the only one I want to talk about, because Damien Pierce is the backfield now for Houston. He gets all the carries. He actually gets, he's never been a passing down guy, but they're not really targeting Rex Burkhead a lot out of the backfield anyway. But like I said, Damien Pierce is getting all the carries.
Right.
And last week, James Robinson carried, then, busted one out for a 50-some yard touchdown and ended up, on a pretty good line anyway if you take that out. So I'm not saying the Texans are comparable to the Jaguars, but Damien Pierce is a talented running back. He'll get his.
Yeah.
As far as the wide receivers, right now, Cooks is benched until further notice for me, until they figure something out at quarterback. Davis Mills has just not looked the greatest. The Chargers defense has been known to be elite at times. So I look for them to bounce back after the Jaguars game.
Yeah. I've got Chargers 21-7.
Yeah, I would even go as far to say 28-10.
Yeah. Like
I think that the Chargers handle business here, and I think Justin Herbert gets back on track.
Hopefully, for sure. You got Patriots Packers next?
I do indeed. Which team would you prefer?
I guess the Packers.
Okay.
But you want to go ahead and talk about the Patriots first, since they're
I can. Mac Jones out this week. Brian Hoyer is your quarterback. Haven't seen him in a while. Has always been a pretty serviceable backup. I'm probably trying to stay away from the wide receivers this week, just in case. You're not sure, so let's just stay away from them. We're not really playing Aguilar. We're not playing Devontae Parker, which you're probably not. Aguilar is a little bit of a sketchy one anyway. Devontae Parker's had 2 pretty serviceable weeks in a row. He's looked pretty good, especially with Jacoby Myers out. If Jacoby Myers is out, Devontae Parker's the only one that I'd look at, period. In the backfield, Damian Harris has looked good. So has Ramondre Stevenson. I've heard reports that Ramondre Stevenson may be starting to get the bulk of the carries going forward. He's a talented young guy. He is a true 3-down back.
Yeah.
So if it works out with Ramondre Stevenson, they could look to move on from these other backs that they have, like Damian Harris and stuff, and just go with Ramondre. So if I had Ramondre Stevenson in a 10 team, I'd start him. In the flex for sure. He's a flex kind of guy. Wide receivers, let's just stay away from them this week. See what happens. Damien Harris is probably still a 12-team league guy in the flex as well.
Mhm.
So.
And on the Packers side, I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you have him and you don't have a better option, obviously, I guess play him. And it's against a Patriots team that has struggled and is just lost their quarterback. Alan Lazard, if you have him, are you playing him?
Yes, I am actually playing him this week against a pretty serviceable Patriots defense. But
Yeah,
if I'm gonna play him, I think it's time to start.
yeah,
If you're not gonna play him by now, you might as well just go ahead and drop him and pick somebody else up because he's
right,
caught touchdowns in 2 straight weeks.
yeah. And I just think Aaron Rodgers is too good to just look bad for multiple weeks at a time, or like a few weeks, which he didn't look bad last week, but God, who's number 2? I don't even know who the number 2 for the Packers is, man.
Number 2, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Right now, I would probably say Romeo Doubs. Dobbs, if you want to say it that way.
I think it's
Um,
Dubs, but I don't know.
Yeah,
But
standout in camp. Standout rookie in camp, and looked really good last week uh in the absence of Randall Cobb and the absence of Christian Watson. These guys are out right now. So you're assuming that they will be out again. I know a
maybe
lot
throw
of
him in
people
there.
I know a lot of people are thinking Dobbs over Lazard right now. So and Tunyon is actually getting a little more involved at the tight end spot. I don't know. It's a little bit of a mess.
It's one of those things where they don't really have like that really crazy elite weapon, so they're having to spread it out everywhere, and that kind of screws your
Yep.
fantasy points there. But
Yeah.
I think you
Running
might
back.
be. Oh yeah.
I was going to ask you about the running back
Yeah.
situation. What are
AJ,
you thinking here with the running back
start both
situation?
of them. Why not? I mean, what is AJ Dillon and what's his name?
Aaron Jones.
And Aaron Jones. Yeah. I mean, really, they both like played all right all year.
They both had a tough week last week against the Buccaneers. It's the Buccaneers though.
Yeah,
That
Buccaneers have
run
a great
defense
defense.
is stupid.
Yeah.
Then week 2 it was the Aaron Jones show. Week 1 it was the AJ Dillon show. I don't know. The
I mean,
Patriots, if I look at the Patriots, they didn't give up much to the Ravens running backs. They didn't give up much at all to Najee Harris, period.
but
And
would
then
they give up to Lamar?
exactly, but like that's a little bit, that's just a different spectrum to me. And then week 1 they didn't give up much to the Dolphins. So I mean, they only saw one good running back and all that, and it was Najee Harris. They didn't give up much to him. So 3 games, not much to the running backs. If I'll tell you right now, I've got AJ Dillon in Yahoo, and I'll just tell you what I'm doing in Yahoo this week. I've got AJ Dillon. If Christian McCaffrey goes, obviously I'm starting him. Jamal Williams is the running back in Detroit, and they're playing against Seattle. He's
Yeah.
looked good when he's got the ball. And Khalil Herbert is playing against the Giants. Those 3 guys are in really good matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Christian McCaffrey was to be out, obviously AJ Dillon goes in.
Yeah.
But other than that, Jamal Williams and Khalil Herbert are in upside matchups, whereas AJ Dillon's in a little bit of a lower matchup, and he's splitting time. Those other 2 guys are the
Yeah.
guys.
But I think was that in Yahoo?
That was Yahoo. Yep.
You're like extremely running back heavy in that. Like,
Yeah, true.
I think
True. Not a lot of people are like that. Yeah.
I think most people, if you have one of them, you're probably playing them in a flex at least.
Yeah.
At least.
And I have Swift in that league too. He's just out.
Yeah,
So
Colby went running back crazy.
Yeah,
I think
for
Alan
sure.
Lazard was your best wide receiver that you got.
Yeah, no, the wide receivers were looking weak.
Yeah.
But now I've actually gotten kind of lucky because I did have Drake London and Chris Olave. So if they keep ascending, I've actually got pretty lucky. We could see a Super Bowl this year, boys. Could see a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Nick, I want to play a game.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers or Mac Jones?
Well, Mac Jones is out.
No. I just want to play a game.
Like, who would I rather have?
Who has more passing yards, Aaron Rodgers or Mac Jones? Nick, don't
Mac
look
Jones.
at anything. Mac Jones does. Are you looking at something?
I'm looking at you right now, dude.
Okay. All right. Mac Jones does. He has 786. Aaron Rodgers 684. Who has more passing attempts, Aaron Rodgers or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones, probably.
Mac Jones has 97. Aaron Rodgers has 94. Who has more touchdowns, Aaron Rodgers or Mac Jones?
I have no idea. Probably Mac Jones.
Aaron Rodgers actually does. He
Okay.
has 4 to Mac Jones's 2 that he had
Oh.
last week.
Mm.
But I just wanted to point out that it's just not really taken off yet for Rodgers. It will. It will. Let the wide receiver group figure itself out, but it'll take off.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking on the Packers just yet.
I mean, they're 2-1, aren't they?
Yeah, they're down though. They are down. We can say that they are down from what they were. I'm taking the Packers in this game. I'm taking them. I'm going to take them in. I actually think that it could be a little closer than people are giving it credit for. You got Brian Hoyer as backup, but I do think that they could. The defense will keep it close enough. I think it could be one of those like 21-17 kind of games.
I've got it 21-7.
Okay, so a little bit further apart there, and I can understand why.
And I think you're okay to probably play either one of these defenses in this game.
Yes.
Just because it's probably not going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a few interceptions thrown. Maybe there's a few fumbles, something. I mean,
yep.
You never know.
I think this next matchup could be a pretty close game too. Denver and the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Which team would you rather talk about?
I'm honestly fine with either one, so just you can pick whichever one you want to talk about if there's one specifically.
I don't have any skin in the game on the Raiders side, but I think I might be the last person on earth that thinks the Raiders are a good team at 0-3. Other than the Raiders. Obviously Derek Carr, you're not playing him this week. Denver defense too good. If you can get away from Josh Jacobs, get away from him. He's had the opportunities, but Denver defense really good. Now wide receiver options. You're still playing Devontae Adams.
Yep.
If you have to reach Mac Hollins because Hunter Renfro's out, Mac Hollins is a play.
Yeah.
Past 2 weeks, pretty much the past 2 weeks is the only weeks he's played. 14 receptions, 240 and 1.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah.
You're feeling good about it, but that's Darren Waller. Obviously, you're playing Darren Waller if you got Darren Waller.
Yeah,
kind of have to. But on the Broncos side,
I just don't think you play Russell Wilson.
I don't think so either. Not yet.
And I mean, Cortland Sutton. I think he has been the more consistent of that number 1 and 2 duo or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, and he's been on the field more too. To be fair.
And Judy, I think has practiced all week this week.
Yeah. He's good. He's fine.
Yeah, and he had a bad week last week, I think, or not a big week at least. Anyways, I have to play him in one league because Michael Thomas and Hunter Renfrow are out. But
he's a threat for a big play, though. He really is.
He really is.
He has the juice. I think
wide receiver 3 or flex, you're not feeling bad about it.
Nope.
And then, running Melvin Gordon, I think, is a reach. And what's the other one? Javonte
Williams.
Yeah.
It's just a lot right now. Like they're splitting time in an offense that can't score touchdowns.
Right.
It's tough.
I think your only 2 almost guaranteed starts are Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. And maybe,
I probably do Javonte Williams in the flex just because he gets more targets out of the backfield. I still don't play Melvin Gordon.
Maybe the Broncos defense though.
Oh yes, if I've got the Broncos defense, I wouldn't be scared to roll them out. Not because the Raiders are terrible, but because the Broncos defense is that good.
Yeah, they're very good. All right.
I'm taking Broncos.
I'm taking the Broncos as well.
I tell you what, I'm 1 game behind you, right?
You taking the Raiders now?
I'm taking the Raiders.
All right. I'm sticking with the Broncos, 24-14.
I will take the Raiders 20-17. Close ball game.
Yeah.
Raiders get on the board. No way this team's 0-4. Not a chance.
I'm telling you, they're going to be they're going to be the best 0-4 roster in history.
Never. Not a chance. Listen.
I'm telling you.
1-4.
0-4.
Here we go. I got to go against you on 1 game, though, because I know these next 2 games we're going to have the same opinion, too.
You sure about that?
Yes. Oh, maybe not in this next one right here. I don't know. We're going to find out. Chiefs, Buccaneers, a juicy Sunday night matchup.
Oh, yeah. This is the best Sunday night matchup.
Which team you want to talk about?
Um,
I'll
I
give you the
think
Chiefs if you want.
yeah, I'll do the Chiefs because I have stuff invested. We both have stuff invested in the Chiefs.
We both have. I mean, like I have
You have
injury
more
stuff
invested. Yeah.
on Tampa Bay.
Gosh.
All
All
right.
right,
So
I'll talk about the Chiefs. You talk about
okay.
Tampa Bay. All right. Chiefs, obviously, Mahomes, if you got me playing him.
Yep.
Running back options. Yeah, no, you can't play running backs with Patrick Mahomes. He's going to throw it way too much.
Not in this matchup. Not in this matchup. They just shut down A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. No way you're playing a running back for the Chiefs in this matchup. Don't you think?
I agree with you.
Okay. I just don't think you can.
Yeah, and I mean it's just the Chiefs' run game isn't there. Like they don't need it.
They're so split too. Jarrett McKinnon actually got more snaps than Clyde Edwards-Helaire did last week.
Right. I just think for fantasy options, stay away from the backfield. Just in general. Travis Kelce, obviously you're starting him every week.
Travis.
What do you think? What do you think about what's his name? Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju, I wait this week. I know last week he was okay. I sit him this week. Look to play him next week against the Raiders.
Okay.
Oh, they've got such hard matchups. Buccaneers, no. Raiders, yes. Bills,
no.
I don't want to. 49ers,
no.
I don't want to. Then Titans, yes. Jaguars, you would have thought. Chargers, I don't know.
Yeah.
Rams, Bengals, they looking better. Broncos, what? I'm trading Juju. What are we doing here? This is terrible.
Dude has like the roughest schedule I've ever heard in my life.
What, am I gonna have to wait till the playoffs to play this guy? Oh goodness gracious, we got a nice little week 15 and 16, the fantasy football playoffs. He plays the Texans and the Seahawks.
See, that's just bull.
If I make the playoffs, Juju is in. Juju.
Oh gosh.
Baker.
In all reality though, I think if you have Juju, you put him in the flex.
You're okay. Like you're not
You're not feeling. You're not.
He's got to throw the ball to somebody other than Travis Kelce.
Right. It can't just be Kelce.
You can't trust Valdez Scantling and Hardman either.
Absolutely not.
Get him
Cole Hardman's good at kick returns and that's it. I feel bad pooping on him like that. Chiefs defense, I don't know. I would stay away from just because they aren't that strong, and Tom Brady's Tom Brady.
Yep. Buccaneers, Tom Brady. I'm probably still trying to play somebody else right now.
Yeah.
Probably still trying to play Leonard Fournette. Fire him up. If you've got Leonard Fournette, you play him. Mike Evans, get him in there. If Julio plays, I don't know if I play him right now just because he's coming off of the injury, and it could be a snap count situation. Chris Godwin, I hope personally he doesn't play so that he gets one more week of rest. I've got him in one league. Give him another week of rest. I've already been without him. Just let me wait a little bit longer. That's fine. I'm 2-1 in that league, so I'm okay with it. If you're 0-3, you might not be okay with it.
Right.
Russell Gage looked good last week, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure that I said the right name. In a 14-12 ball game. Russell Gage, 12 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown.
Feeling good about that.
If Julio doesn't play and Chris Godwin doesn't play, Russell Gage, you can play. Because they are going to have to throw the ball at some point to try to keep up with what I still think the Chiefs could score a lot of points against the Buccaneers after having a bad week last week against the Colts.
I agree for sure.
So, I'm okay with starting Russell Gage if you need to. No tight ends, nothing like that. But I think that's about it. Mike Evans, Russell Gage. If Julio plays, I think you wait. Chris Godwin, if he plays, I think most people have got to start him.
Yeah.
Who you got, Nick?
Kansas City, 28-24.
Okay. I've got the Chiefs as well.
Dang.
I've got the Chiefs as well, 30-27. I don't know. I just think the Chiefs have a better chance to bounce back than the Raiders, than the Buccaneers do. Buccaneers are still missing a lot of the offensive line. They could still
Yeah,
be missing two of their best wide receivers too.
right.
They're
It's
just
just
not there yet.
like, to be honest with you, I think if the Buccaneers are all there, I'm probably picking Buccaneers to win this, especially after the Chiefs coming out. Like they lost the Colts, who hadn't looked good all year.
Yeah.
They are looking to bounce back, and the Buccaneers are looking to bounce back. One of them's got to lose. I mean,
Yeah. And I think that you sit Julio and Chris Godwin again just because next week, Falcons.
yes,
They're gonna eat.
yeah,
Steelers. Could be without TJ Watt still.
yeah, but still, you got to worry about the Bengals or the Steelers
I know,
secondary.
but like as far as the Steelers secondary, like if we're looking at the Steelers secondary here, they give up 29 to the Browns, and Jacoby Beef Brisket was throwing the ball all over them.
But look what they did to Joe Burrow in week 1.
I know, but that's also a lot of sacks with a lot of TJ Watt.
That's true.
TJ Watt comes back, it's totally different. After
TJ Watt is like a complete game changer, to be honest.
After that, the Panthers, who the passing defense has looked good, but you got to remember who it's looked good against.
Yeah.
Hasn't looked good against Tom Brady.
No.
After that, you got the Ravens secondary.
They have looked like dog water this year.
2 weeks later, you got the Seahawks. Then you got the Browns. Then you got the Saints, who Marshawn Lattimore, yes. The rest of the defense hasn't looked as good. Like, I mean, down the stretch, you're going to really feel good about the Buccaneers wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Sit them, please, Tampa Bay. Let's sit them another week, get them right.
Right. I agree. All right, Monday night.
Monday. Okay, who you feeling about? Who you want to talk about?
Well, actually, I have some stuff invested in the Rams. With Cooper. I took Cooper Kupp first overall. Everyone was like, "Oh, wow, you didn't take Jonathan Taylor or McCaffrey?" No,
Probably the most consistent player in fantasy football this
literally,
year. Other than Lamar.
I took the PPR god, who's literally finds his way to the end zone every week with 10 catches and 100+ yards. He is a machine. He's just a beast. Yep. I expect the same this week, even against a very good 49ers defense.
Are you starting Allen Robinson?
No, I wouldn't.
Not this week.
I wouldn't.
And last week, Allen Robinson, he did get the touchdown, but barely had anything else going for him, and he dropped another No, he didn't get a touchdown last week. He dropped a touchdown last week. So you're not feeling good about that.
Yeah, I ain't feeling good about that at all. But other fantasy options, Matt Stafford, if you have him, I don't know.
Maybe.
If you don't have a backup quarterback that you think might be has a better matchup this week, you probably go with Stafford.
Jared Goff or Matt Stafford?
Who are the Lions playing again?
Seahawks.
Jared Goff. But I don't know. Actually, hold on. He doesn't have Amon-Ra this week. I think I'm going to go Stafford for this week. Okay. But I think if Amon-Ra's healthy, I might go Goff instead.
Okay. Darrell Henderson, I'm out on him. Yeah. I'm done on him. They just keep giving Cam Akers the ball. They just keep trying to get Cam Akers to look good.
And Cam Akers, literally, he is an impersonator of Austin Eckler.
If you've got him, I think you have to play him, though, because of the opportunity.
Yeah, and you probably drafted him in, first, second round?
Fourth round? Probably about the fourth round. Yeah. Real quick, before we get done here, 49ers options. Obviously, you're playing Debo. Jeff Wilson Jr. is the only running back that you can do. If you got a league, Brandon Ayuk, maybe George Kittle. If you got him, you're playing him.
Yeah.
Who you got, Nick?
Rams 24-17.
Rams 24-10. Okay, Jimmy has got to get back in a rhythm here before I'm big on the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
That's all
right. Yeah. Week 4 preview. All right. Let us know what y'all think in the comments.